Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on a fascinating company, Real Wisconsin Website Design. You'll see them as realwis.com online.
Yeah, they're an interesting blend, aren't they? Local Wisconsin roots, but with this very tech-forward approach.
Exactly. They started apparently from a pretty simple need, helping out local nonprofits and small businesses in Wisconsin get online affordably. But they've grown into something much more.
Right.
So our mission today is to really unpack that. We'll look at their policies, their services, the tech they use, their history, try to figure out what makes them tick.
And how their specific model kind of fits into the bigger digital picture today. You know, they touch on AI, accessibility, the whole range from web design to video.
Right. And they aim for, well, what they call exceptional value. So let's get into it. Where do we start? Maybe the foundations.
Makes sense. So realwis.com, founded back in 2007, like you said, it grew pretty organically, just responding to requests. Wisconsin groups needing websites, social media presence, but crucially, at reasonable prices.
Addressing a real gap, it sounds like.
I think so. And the founder, James Murphy, his background is really key here.
Okay, tell us about that. He's described as a leading-edge technologist, but there's more, right?
Oh, yeah. He has a distinguished military career, served 67 to 73, made sergeant. He was a platoon leader in South Korea, Camp KC. Also an electronics specialist with the ASA, even worked with Korea's Little Tigers Division.
Wow.
2 honorable discharges, lifetime member of the Disabled American Veterans in Green Bay. So this isn't just, a footnote. It directly leads to them being a proudly flagged, veteran-owned business.
Which you see highlighted on their site.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that identity, combined with the Made in Wisconsin label and a recommendation from the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, it paints a picture of local commitment backed by, well, a certain kind of discipline, perhaps.
That military background potentially influencing how they operate.
It seems plausible, yeah. You might expect a focus on standards, mission, that sort of thing.
So how does all that background, the local focus, the veteran leadership, how does that play out in their actual web design choices, your tech stack?
Well, it leads to some pretty specific and maybe even controversial choices. They primarily use Bootstrap.
Okay, for people maybe not deep in web dev, what's Bootstrap in simple terms?
Think of it as a really popular and solid foundation kit. It uses standard web stuff, HTML, CSS, JavaScript to build sites that work well on phones, tablets, desktops. Responsive design, basically. And it's known for being pretty secure and fast loading.
Got it. But here's where it gets interesting, right? Their stance on WordPress.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They are very explicit. They say they never use WordPress, full stop. And they actually position themselves as replacing WordPress sites.
Why such a hard line? WordPress powers a huge chunk of the web.
Their argument boils down to 2 things, cost and security. They claim WordPress often leads to unexpected extra costs for clients, ongoing maintenance, security patches, that kind of thing. They throw out some numbers like potential security plans costing $300 a month, maintenance up to $2,400 a month, even mentioning emergency fixes hitting like $10,000 a month.
Oh, those are some high figures.
Yeah, and they contrast that directly with their Bootstrap approach, calling it, and this is their quote, a hell of a lot safer and faster and Google SEO compliant.
Yeah.
So the implication is better long-term value and fewer headaches for the client.
It's a bold claim, standing against such a dominant platform. And they're not just sticking with established tech like Bootstrap, they're also jumping on AI.
Right. They mentioned being early adopters,
Yeah.
specifically integrating things like ChatGPT and OpenAI into their workflow.
How are they using AI? Is it writing code, designing layouts, or...
It seems more focused on enhancing the outcome. They talk about using AI for cutting-edge and user-friendly websites, and specifically ensuring data consistency, accuracy, structure across all platforms.
Okay, so maybe using AI to help organize information, streamline content, maybe even personalize user experience elements.
That sounds about right. Making sure everything hangs together cohesively, using AI as a tool to manage that complexity.
It definitely sounds like they offer more than just the initial site build. Their services seem pretty comprehensive.
Oh, absolutely. Design, redesign. The focus is clearly on attractive, responsive, user-friendly sites. They quote that stat, 94% of people judge a business on its website design. So making a good first impression, building credibility, that's central.
And keeping people there, right? They mentioned fostering a loyal audience through good user experience, encouraging word of mouth.
Exactly. And that user experience ties into practical things too, like making social media sharing easy. And crucially, Mobile responsiveness.
Which is non-negotiable these days.
Totally. Over half of searches are mobile now. And ever since Google's Mobileddin update back in 2015, if your site isn't mobile-friendly, your search ranking suffers. Simple as that. Good navigation also helps keep bounce rates low, people landing on your site and leaving immediately.
Makes sense. Now, something they really seem to champion is ADA compliance. Accessibility.
Yes, they frame it quite strongly, not just a nice-to-have, but a foundational website strategy element. They even talk about it as a moral obligation.
A moral obligation. How so?
They link it to dignity, equality, comfort, independence for people with disabilities. It's about inclusive design. Practically, their sites use an ADA bundle widget aiming for WCAG 2.1 compliance. Those are the standard guidelines for web accessibility.
WCAG 2.1, okay.
And they mention regular scans. But they also list the business reasons. Avoiding lawsuits, obviously, but also tapping into a larger customer base. Nearly 20% of the U.S. population has some form of disability.
That's a huge potential market.
It is. Plus, they argue it improves the experience for everyone, enhances the brand image, helps with talent acquisition, and there can even be tax incentives. So it's ethical and smart business.
Okay, so we've got design, accessibility. What about getting found online? SEO and digital marketing.
Yep, they cover that extensively. SEO services include the usual suspects: keyword research, content optimization, technical site tweaks, link building, looking at what competitors are doing.
And does the AI come back into play here?
It does. They mention AI-enhanced solutions for things like managing business listings consistently across different directories, think Google Maps, Yelp, etc. Also, scheduling scans to check listing accuracy, dealing with duplicate listings created by spam bots.
The duplicate suppression sounds useful. That can be a real mess.
Definitely. And they specifically mention locking down Google My Business profiles, now called Google Business Profile, to prevent random users from making incorrect changes. They even help with the GMB verification process and, importantly, ensure the client always owns their listing.
Which isn't always the case with some agencies, right?
Correct. Sometimes agencies hold on to those listings. RealWise emphasizes client ownership.
Beyond the website and getting it found, they also do video.
Video production, commercial creation like 60-second spots. They give pricing examples. $960 for one, but it drops to $640 each if you buy a package of 6.
That's a significant discount for volume.
It is. They also offer on-site video shooting at $120 an hour. And here again, they make a bold claim, delivering these video services at up to half the cost of typical industry rates.
Half the cost. That's a big claim for video production.
It is. Seems like cost effectiveness is a recurring theme for them.
So they build the site, help market it, make videos. What about keeping it running smoothly? Maintenance and management.
Critical, they say, to get found. They offer structured maintenance packages. Tier 1 is basic maintenance, $95 a month for 2 hours of work.
Okay.
Tier 2 adds SEO focus, $170 a month for 4 hours, and this one's required if you have an e-commerce site. Tier 3 ramps up the SEO in hours, $299 a month for 6 hours.
So different levels depending on how active you need to be.
Exactly. There's also an on-call plan. You pay a $500 retainer, then it's $120 an hour for work as needed, and even a Tier 4 just for social media posting.
Social media posting, what does that involve?
Apparently 6 daily posts across 9 different social media platforms for $299 a month. That's a lot of content.
Yeah, that's quite intensive. And they handle hosting too.
Yes, they're a URL registrar and hosting partner through a service called Partners Web Hosting. And again, a cost comparison. They claim clients pay around $80 a year versus potentially 3 times that at GoDaddy, and they don't charge extra for email addresses.
Another value proposition there.
And they mention using advanced edge caching technology, which basically means storing copies of the website closer to where users are located, making it load faster.
Speed is definitely key. Okay, so what's the actual process like if you decide to work with them?
It sounds pretty straightforward. Starts with discovery, understanding the client's business, what they like visually. Then they help set up hosting. After that, they develop a rough draft.
How long does that take?
They say it can be ready in about a week, but that's if the client provides everything needed right away. More typically, it's maybe 20, 25 days on average.
Okay, still relatively quick.
Seems so. They encourage real-time reviews, either meeting in person or using Zoom to speed things up. Client approves, site goes live.
Any key business terms we should know? Payment, contracts?
Yes, they're quite clear. Prepayment is standard. They prefer checks, apparently to avoid PayPal fees, which is an interesting detail.
Okay.
And importantly, once work starts, payments are non-refundable. And here's a really specific policy. They won't change project managers mid-project. They call that a deal breaker.
A deal breaker. What happens then?
If the client insists on changing the manager, all pending fees apparently become due immediately. It suggests they put a high value on project continuity and the relationship with the assigned manager.
That's unusually firm. It does speak to that disciplined approach again, maybe.
Could be. And their credibility isn't just based on their own claims. They've got awards.
Right, like the Tech Behemoths Award.
Yeah, for 3 years running 2022, 2023, 2024 in web design, web development, and SEO. They mentioned ranking in the top 30% or so out of over 43,000 companies listed there.
That's pretty significant.
They're also a Design Rush verified agency and got an UpCity Best of Wisconsin award in 2022.
And testimonials. What are clients saying?
Generally very positive things. Professionalism, expertise, good communication, delivering what was promised at reasonable prices. There are specific shout-outs from the Disabled American Veterans Chapter, a Wisconsin State Assembly rep, various business owners, all saying RealWays helped them, often saving them money compared to other options.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, quite a detailed picture emerges.
It really does. You've got this company deeply rooted in Wisconsin, led by a veteran, making some quite distinct tech choices like Bootstrap over WordPress, embracing AI.
And putting a major emphasis on accessibility, ADA compliance, not just as a checkbox, but as foundational.
Right, and bundling it all, design, SEO, video, maintenance, hosting, often with the claims of significant cost savings.
So as we kind of step back from this deep dive, what's the lingering thought? For me, it's about how they've integrated all these elements, the local focus, the veteran discipline, the specific tech choices, the strong ethical stance on accessibility.
All while positioning themselves as a value-driven provider, particularly against platforms like WordPress, which they see as potentially costly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Raises a question, I think. In today's digital world, how might this kind of model, this blend of, let's say, ethical considerations like ADA compliance, with very deliberate tech choices, strong operational discipline, and a client value focus, how might that redefine what success looks like for businesses, especially small businesses and nonprofits?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How might seeing a model like this, which combines that deep local connection with advanced yet seemingly cost-conscious digital solutions, how might that change what you as a business or organization expect from your own online presence and your digital partners?
A lot to think about there. Definitely a unique approach from Real Wisconsin Website Design.